Hi, friends!
Hello, welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Instant Movie Reviews with Raina and Droo.
I'm Raina.
And I'm Drew, and we are here for another Thursday night preview screening. This one's a little bit more under the radar. Last I checked, there were only a handful of other seats sold, but what are we going to see tonight?
Well, I brought props.
You brought props?
I brought props.
Okay.
We are going to go see Mother Mary, which I'm so excited about. So here's a Mother Mary crazy halo crown for you. And I've got one, and I don't even think they're going to fit in the shots, but we can just like scooch down for a second. And like, there we go. We've got our Mother Mary halos. There we go.
I'm not sure you can really see that.
We'll take a selfie later. It's pretty amazing. But yes, this is part of the costumes that they're wearing a lot, which I happen to have plenty of these halos because of collecting them for my mermaid work. So yeah, that one's just kind of like it makes me think of a Statue of Liberty.
It looks like Hexadecimal from Reboot.
Yeah, it actually makes me think of her too. I forgot for a second that I'm talking to my friend who actually knows what Reboot is. Okay, so Mother Mary has been on my radar for quite some time. I saw the teaser. First of all, I saw an article about it like a year ago, and I sent it to Drew. And then when the first teaser came out, I was like, ooh, this is spine tingly. I love this idea of blending music with different genres. I was really hoping, for instance, that trap was going to be really good. The M. Night Shyamalan, like, kind of thriller with the music didn't quite work out. I think this is going to be much better. And this is a pop star who's been inspired in like the writing of this character has been inspired by Madonna and Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift. She's meant to be like that person in her universe and era. And she's been doing this for a long time. And she's doing like this big like tour. I don't know if it's a final tour or anything, but it's meant to be like this big cumulative tour. And she needs a costume made, a dress made for this tour, something that will be iconic, very much the way, you know, Gaga always has some kind of signature look or theme. Taylor Swift had that dress made out of sheet music and everything. So
Gaga had the meat dress.
I mean, Madonna has certainly had many iconic performances. I'm thinking of her in the wedding dress for like a virgin, right?
Yeah.
So something like that. And she comes to a costume creator who she had apparently worked with a decade earlier, and something happened and they're no longer working together. And the costume maker seems to be happy enough to work with her, but they do have a bit of a biting back and forth. There's a lot of tension. The trailer alludes to maybe some involvement of witchcraft or magic or supernatural, sort of like a possession kind of thing, maybe. It also stars as side characters, like FK Twigs is in it, and Hunter Schafer, who I really love.
I love her.
After we saw Cuckoo,
she was so good in Cuckoo.
I know that was a very hit or miss movie for some people because of the flute playing, but like I loved it. And so I think it's Coel.
Michaela something.
Yeah, Michaela. We'll have her name up properly. I always get the names wrong. This is not anything to do with the specific actors. I have an ADHD brain, so sometimes when we do these videos, I forget. And anyway, it's a really cool all-star cast. And I actually just saw a little post from the director who says, like, he's like, here's all the dialogue from men in this movie, and then there's nothing. But the post didn't totally land because it was written and directed by a man. So everyone's kind of like, well, blah, blah, blah. But you know, men can do a great job when they're using women to inform their art. They're not doing what we think women do. They're actually talking to women so they can represent it in the same way that women can do the same thing when they're directing and writing about men. You know, it's like just about being as authentic as possible. I really like how dark this seems, and I'm really hoping it's not going to just be like Trap, where it's like, this is just an excuse for Anne Hathaway to sing a bunch. That being said, I've listened to the 2 songs they've released. One is Burial, and one is My Mouth is Lonely for You. And they're collaborations between a ton of top songwriters and Anne Hathaway. She's also written on them. And I love them. I love them. They're right up my alley. I wasn't sure if I would like them because Charlie XCX writes on them and she's very hit or miss for me. But I probably wouldn't have known it was her contributing to it if I hadn't been told. FK Twigs also is like working on it too. So anyway, that was very long blurb. Did you see any of the trailer?
I've seen the trailer a while ago. I've not rewatched it because I wanted to go in fresh. And I don't feel like, based on what I recall, that it really gave all that much away. It looks like it could be like quasi-horror in some aspects. And I guess we will see shortly if it lives up to the anticipation.
I just wonder if I should go into the movie and then the people behind me would be like, what the hell?
I don't think there's anyone behind us, so you're probably fine if you want to.
It makes me look like too much of a keener, though. If it's really good and then it like catches on and starts selling out and people, like, maybe I'll see it again and do it.
Yeah.
It's like shingling. Anyway, we're going to go see it. I'm really excited. I hope it's as good as I feel like it's going to be. But at the very least, I feel like we have a really killer soundtrack. Have you listened to the music yet?
Not yet.
I actually really think you'll like it. It's right up there with what you and I would like. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to head in, get our popcorn, get our seats, and we'll be back in a few seconds to tell you what we thought about Mother Mary. We'll see you in a minute.
See you at the movies.
Well, that was interesting.
It was an experience.
That was an experience.
Yes.
So you're taking a moment to kind of process it. I think I am too. I will say that the beginning of the movie is very arresting. The dialogue, the setting, it feels very much like a stage play. We've said in other reviews on this channel that this could have been a stage play, but it almost feels like it largely takes place kind of in one room.
Yeah, it's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that's actually happening. And in that way, it reminded me of several famous plays, like The Importance of Being Earnest, or like different Shakespearean plays where there's just a lot of dialogue, and the dialogue is loaded. It's loaded. Like, I was like, I could take quotes from this movie. Like,
it's not the way that real people would talk to each other, but it's a very like heightened experience.
Michaela Coel nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, nailed it. I think it can be hard to act alongside or even mirroring like somebody like Anne Hathaway with her life time of films and awards and things, and Les Mis and everything, you know, and she holds her own, and God, that woman is so interesting. Like, I've seen her now in a few different roles, and she always brings something unique to it, and she's very interesting. And if there was ever like a good modern mermaid movie, I would love her to be a mermaid. Like, she has a face that I feel like lends herself to fantasy, like the way her face is. Like, it's
a very
the
pronounced
great cheekbones
yeah.
that she has. They're amazing. So I'm still processing it, but I can say I really, really love the music a lot. I love the music a lot. We hear a lot of the songs. You hear the first two songs right away. Throughout her telling stories and talking with the seamstress, you're getting flashbacks to her shows and performances, and I really, really enjoyed that. You could see the Madonna influence, you could see the Lady Gaga influence, a bit of the Taylor Swift influence, and like in how she does the stage, and like good on Anne Hathaway for getting in the shape to do that, for singing it herself, like freaking amazing.
There's one sequence where she does a dance performance, and I'm not going to spoil the context or what it is, but it is so breathtakingly physical that I was just sort of watching with my mouth open, being like, oh my God, this is a physical like feat.
It was brilliant, and it instantly, not specifically because it was dance, but because of how intensely she committed, it made me automatically think of Black Swan. And I said to Drew, like, this is giving me Black Swan vibes. Like, just, it's a different type of story. It's not the same thing. She's not like a singer obsessed with making a song or something. Like, but it's just like the intensity that she brought to the role and the devotion to it, to getting those things right, really did remind me of what Natalie Portman put herself through to do Black Swan. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the entire film, was this dance sequence. It had this really interesting way of, everything is kind of self-contained in this one room once you get to the main plot, like Drew was saying, and we see flashbacks or whatever. But similar to a stage play, if the characters are talking about something that happened in the past, sometimes they look over and see themselves in the room that they're in, acting out what was happening. And at first it was a little jarring, but then once I got into it, I was like, I actually really like this. And it does feel like a play, but it's a very cool storytelling tool. Yeah. And not something I've seen often. Like,
I also appreciated how those little transitions, even though for the most part they're appearing in the same room. We've talked in other reviews about how it's nice to get a reprieve, to get out of the setting. Like in Primate, we like getting out of the house and away from the action. Those little vignettes kind of do take us out of that room, so it's not just, like Hard Candy, where it's just Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson in a house
the entire time
of the movie.
Yeah, and it could have fallen victim to that if they didn't break it up.
Yeah.
I was a little bit nervous for a bit with some of the music sequences, that it was going to be a bit like trap. Like, okay, how much of this, like, I'm enjoying this, but how much of this are we going to get? Because I feel like we're going to lose the audience, but it would bring it back at the right time. That being said, this film's not for everybody.
No.
I really enjoyed it. There were parts of it, interestingly enough, that reminded me of The Last Showgirl, because I related to it in terms of being a performer myself. And Anne Hathaway is like 43 or 44, and her character, you can tell, is like 40s, early 40s. Like, they don't give her an age, but you can tell she's had this long career, this 25-year career kind of thing. So I kind of think that math is there, and it made me think of that, and just the way she's looking back on things, and how her seamstress is reminiscing and everything. Sam, I think the seamstress. Sam, yeah. It does remind me a little bit of similar themes, and I feel that my peers who are performers like me, but especially my peers who are my age that are performers like me, the female ones or female presenting ones, are going to see a bit of themselves in this and the complexity. And to that end, I think the writer-director did a really good job of capturing artistry.
Yeah.
Different types of artistry. That being said, if you're not a musician into art, or like a big art appreciator or fashion or whatever, this might not resonate with you as intensely as it's going to resonate with someone who is, I think.
But if you're someone who's not into horror films, for example, this film kind of marketed itself as if it was going to be a quasi-horror film, and there are some supernatural elements to it, and I won't spoil how, but if you're one of the viewers of our channel who's like, oh my god, Raina and Droo are banging on again about another horror movie, this actually, I wouldn't say is a horror movie. It is an intense character drama with a little bit of supernatural
elements. It's no
elements.
more horror than Black Swan was. You know what I mean? Like, it could very well be an allegory for mental illness. I don't know. Like, it's just, or like a narcissistic, intense friendship or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know if the horror was real or not. And maybe after, like, this film has been out for a bit, my concern is that people are going to feel a little bait and switched, and they're going to go in to see it. Like, a lot of our audience stayed till the end, and I don't necessarily think it was because they enjoyed it so much they wanted to stay till the end of the credits. I think we were all kind of being like, is that it? Like, what else are we going to see in the credits? And they do share, there's not necessarily like end credits. There's scenes, it's like a music scene is playing out while the credits are going.
I stayed because I liked the song.
I did love the music. I loved the music, and I wanted to hear all the music.
Yeah. But again, I'm not sure that I understand. I think, and I feel like I've said this in other reviews too, that I don't get it. I think I get what they were going for, and I'm like, oh god, it makes me sound dumb. But I'm not sure I understand what the message was, or what is supposed to have actually happened in that movie. I feel like I'll need to think about it.
I mean, I think I did. I think it's actually quite simple, but I think the film is setting us up to expect it to be much more complicated. And this is part of one of my complaints with the film, is I found it quite anticlimactic. I felt that it was all building to something specific, and then that specific thing just doesn't happen. And I feel that's almost like the meaning we're trying to get out of the film as well. And so I feel like we're probably projecting and overcomplicating it and being like, yeah, it feels like this should be more, but I think it might just be as simple as like a pop star trying to find herself again. Like, I'm not sure that it's actually that deep. It wants to be deep. It is a very smart film. Like, I think it's very smart to the point that it might be alienating to some people. Like, the dialogue is very, very smart dialogue, and it might be alienating to the odd, the average moviegoer who's just going out for like a fun night. Like, Droo and I see movies as a hobby, so we really enjoy seeing all kinds of out there films. We like seeing things that are different. We like seeing people take risks. We're not necessarily going to come out of film and be super disappointed. We tend to find at least something that we liked about it. Even Silent Hill, is one of my favorite memories this year because it was just funny, and I enjoyed the experience I had with the audience. Like, I thought it was really, I had a good time, even though it was a terrible movie. I had a good time. So like, I did really like most parts of this film, but I'm having trouble deciding if I like it as a whole or not. I actually do want to rewatch it though, which is funny. I really kind of want to go in. I want to let it sit. I want to let it cook, as the Gen Z say. I want to let it cook. I want to read about it. I want to read a little bit about what the director has to say about it, Anne Hathaway, all that. And then I do want to see it again. Probably not in theaters, although it is beautiful on the big screen. I'd like to stream it and just like kind of sit with it a little bit.
I will say, even though I don't entirely think I get it, I can't say anything negative about the performances. I thought Michaela Coel in particular was just a fascinating character. I wish I understood her character better. Anne Hathaway portrays sort of the depths of the despair and sort of the beaten down.
It reminded me of Britney Spears' Lucky.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's this big, amazing pop star on the outside, and then on the inside, she's this mousy, insecure, like jumping at everything, crying all the time kind of thing. Like,
there's a part of me though that as I was watching it, I was like, God, Lady Gaga would have slayed this role.
Yeah.
And it feels so much like it's trying to be like the way that Anne Hathaway is like blonde, but like not perfectly blonde. You can see some of the roots and stuff showing. It sort of reminds me of the Gaga during the Joanne era.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me of, did you ever see the music video for Die Another Day with Madonna?
Yes.
And just how like bedraggled she looks in that, and her hair's got streaks in it. And just, there were so many, I feel like, Easter eggs.
Oh, there were a lot of
pop stars.
Yeah, there was a lot of costume Easter eggs. Like Chappelle Roan had one. Chapel Roan. Chappelle. I said Chappelle. It's Chapel. I said Chappelle. Like Dave Chappelle. That's terrible.
It's Rick James, bitch.
I know it's Chapel. I don't know why. This is my ADHD brain because I'm tired and hungry and it's late at night. There was like a Chapel Roan reference with one of the outfits. There was a Lady Gaga reference with one of the outfits. Definitely some of the bodysuit style outfits were Taylor Swift coded. The sets, there weren't much for sets, but the way the stage stuff was handled and like the dancers and stuff, like lots of callbacks there.
The stage itself with the very minimalist look reminded me of Kylie Minogue's recent Tension tour.
Yeah, actually, I thought of Tension.
Yeah, just how stripped down that stage was. It really was just her and her dancers. It's so hard. I don't really know how I feel about that movie. There are certainly aspects to it that I like, but at the same time, after it was over, I was sitting there thinking, what rating am I going to give this when we have to go out and review this?
And actually, I was really into it for about half of it, and I was like, I'll probably have to give it 2 ratings, like my rating and then a rating for like general audiences. But by the end, I got to admit, it did kind of like fizzle for me. Like, I felt like there was just so much buildup and so much great imagery in the music, and like everything was coming up to this point, and then okay. And I think like the ending is still, it's not a bad ending. Like, it's symbolic, obviously, and there's parallel things happening, which I don't necessarily like that in an ending because it divides your attention. But it just, I don't know, it just kind of fizzled for me.
I would have changed one thing about the ending. And the one thing I would change about the ending is the big complaint you had at the very end of it. I would have just changed that aspect. I would have added that to the final scene, and I think that would have been much more meaningful.
I do think it would have been more meaningful.
And I can't say what it is, because we're doing a spoiler-free review, but there's just one thing that I would have changed with that ending, and I feel like that would have changed dramatically sort of how I'm walking out feeling about
I know,
it.
me too. It would have salvaged, I think. Also, you may not know this, but there's some controversy around this film. I know because I've been following the Instagram and Facebook posts because I kept trying to like scrape up every morsel of the music so that I could hear it. There is a pop duo called Mother Mary. Oh. And they are pissed, and their fan base is pissed, and they are accusing this film of plagiarizing their songs and their look and their shtick. I don't think it is at all. I think it's a big coincidence. That being said, before seeing the film and only seeing the promotional material, I do see why they probably felt that way. But when you actually see the film, it is nothing like them. Not like, it's literally just, it's very obviously paying homage to iconic pop stars of the past, 30 years. And like from the costumes to the music, I think the coincidence is literally just the Mother Mary, which, Gaga really popularized being like Mother Monster with the put your paws up, but other musicians before and after her have had different things for their fan bases and their names for themselves and everything. And men do that all the time. Men have done, I mean, look at how many times Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion, like what was he, you know? So like that it's a thing. And I do think it was probably just coincidental that because the band, as much as their fan base is really, really riled up right now, and I probably will get hate from some of this from saying this, they really just aren't well known enough, I think, for it to be like a plagiarism thing. I think it was just coincidence. And I do think that if any of the fans decide to see the film, they will see that it's got nothing to do with the band. They're not ripping anybody off. They're not ripping off anyone's songs. They're not ripping off their costumes. It's just, she's Mother Mary. And when you think of Mother Mary, you're going to think of the draped fabric of the statues, and you're going to think of a halo. Like,
to me, it was so clearly like Madonna. It was with the whole religious iconography of Mother Mary.
Religious iconography.
And Lady Gaga with the big over-the-top costumes and the extravagant personality, but also like the way that she presents when she's not on stage really felt Gaga-esque to me. So it's unfortunate for them, and I didn't know that before we did this review. I'll check it out, and maybe I'll change. Like
hundreds, like they just, I don't know if they're paying people or paying bots or something, but it's really bonkers. More people are commenting than people who are actually like subscribed to them on YouTube. So I'm like, this just doesn't seem proportionate to me. And they're not bad. Like I checked out their stuff, but they're not like epically amazing either. Like, you know, so
yeah.
They're not stealing anything.
People don't like brand confusion. There was a Canadian band back in the day called Pilot that had changed their name because Pilates sued them because they said there was going to be brand confusion. There's a band that I like that used to be called Easy Life that had to change the name to Hard Life because this big conglomerate called Easy sued them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you don't own the word Easy. Apparently they do. The band had to change its name. So, I mean, it sucks for the brand confusion, but I just feel like they picked the name Mother Mary probably because it was such a nice parallel to both Madonna and Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it fits so well for it. And also, like, we are seeing this overlap unintentionally happening with films. You had Dracula in the different versions just coincidentally come out at the same time. That was not planned. You had Frankenstein, different iterations. There were even 2 Pinocchio iterations at the same time. One of them that I love. And even like one of my favorite movies I always reference in the 80s, Splash and the Little Mermaid came out very close together. Like
Ready or Not 2 and They Will Kill You.
Yeah, like very it's not meant, like I really don't think it was intentional. And I will be the first person to like call out art theft. I really don't think it's that. So I just thought that was interesting. But I guess now let's get back to the ratings. What are we thinking? Like I'm really having trouble with this.
This is the first time I've struggled this hard with our review since we started the channel of what I'm going to give it. I don't want to give it a low review because I feel like it was very well made. It was very well acted, but at the same time, I'm not wowed by it. It feels weird to give that the same rating as Lee Cronin's The Mummy, but I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to give it a 7.
A 7?
I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it's very well made, but I'm not sure that I get it. And it wasn't exactly what I was hoping that it would be.
Yeah, I found the pacing quite slow, and I was surprised that it was under 2 hours when it finished. I was like, oh, wow. That felt really long, and not long because I wasn't enjoying myself. It just felt long. Like it felt long. And I think because there weren't really a whole lot of plot points, that kind of made it feel long. To that end, I think they needed to be clear with the plot. They needed to be clear with the motivation. They needed a bit more of a clear beginning, middle, and end, because it all just kind of flowed together like one giant monologue, basically one giant conversation is what it felt like. And I also the payoff for me in the ending wasn't there. The good stuff though, it still was very interesting. I thought the dialogue was phenomenal and very well written and very smart. And it did really hook me in the beginning. I thought the supporting cast were great. I even spotted Kaia Gerber in there, which was hilarious. I think she's gorgeous. I loved the music. I love that Anne Hathaway sang and danced. Her dance scene alone for me is going to bump it up just slightly higher than yours. So I was going to give it a 7.5. But I got to tell you, halfway through the movie, I was like, this is like a 9 or a 10. So it did lose me a bit, right? Like in the beginning, I really, really loved it. It just, I don't know, it's almost like it suffered from bad editing. Like it needed even just a little bit better editing. And I feel like, did they have multiple endings and they went with this one? Like, I don't know. Maybe. I really felt like they were setting us up for a different ending. So it was just kind of like, really? That's the ending we're going with? Like, is more going to happen?
Yeah, it was like there were at least 3 other scenes that I thought to me were the climax of the movie, and they're not the climax of the movie.
I know,
but to me, they were
exactly.
clearly the most compelling, impactful scenes to me, and they're not even like close to the ending.
No, and I said this to Drew before we started filming, but there were scenes that were meant to be intense and meant to like be scary or be psychological or whatever. And the way they were shot, I was like, if we had a different audience, they'd be laughing. Like, it just didn't land. And like, for us being open-minded and in the film and whatever, like, we were fine, we were good, but I could just tell, I was like, this is not going to land with some people. And if people went and saw The Bride and weren't entertained by The Bride, which was like one of the most entertaining films I've ever seen, I don't know what's wrong with people. If people walked out of that, I think they might walk out of this. I think people might get bored. I really do. Like, you and I love the kind of heavy dialogue stuff. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are like, just give me a story.
I'm really surprised the 3 teenage girls in the back stayed through the whole thing.
Yeah, they did stay for the whole thing, but there was maybe 6 of us in our theater, and it was like an early preview, and this opens technically tomorrow. And
we'll see how it does, but we're reviewing it, and hopefully you enjoy our review.
It's so funny. Watch us rate it low like this, and like tomorrow everybody's going to be like, this is the must-see movie. It was amazing. It changed my life.
I would be shocked. I'd be shocked. Could be wrong.
What do we have coming up, Drew?
So we want to see Hokum.
Oh, yeah.
That looks really good. So May looks incredible for horror. We were just talking about, we're not exactly a horror channel. We're going to be a horror channel.
I don't know how we're going to fit in everything in May that I want to see.
Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah.
Which we probably won't bother doing a review for that because it'll be like Project Hail Mary with 20 views and that'll be it. We want to see Backrooms. We want to see Obsession. I want to see the other new horror film that just got a new trailer, The Passenger, or just Passenger.
Yeah. The car one. Yeah.
The car one. Yeah. So May is going to be stacked for horror, and I'm hoping we can squeeze the Devil Wears Prada 2 in there because I love the original.
Yeah. I only just saw it for the first time, guys. Also, next time, so probably we're going to see Hokum probably next week, and when we do that film, I will have had a laser treatment on my face, and you probably notice in a lot of the videos that I have a big dark spot on my face, and I cover it with makeup. And the laser treatment is going to make it really worse. It's going to look obvious until it gets better. So for a video or two, I will look like I've been hit in the face. Nobody has hit me. It's just part of my chronic illness that I have. And in order to treat it and not get skin cancer and all that stuff, I have to break it up. And the breaking it up process is going to make it dark. So no freaking out. I'm good. Drew did not get mad at me and like have a fight about a movie or something and swap me one. And my toddler didn't either, I swear. So I just wanted to make sure I say that in this video, and I'll probably, when I have it done, show it. But I was really, really, really looking forward to this film though. And so I do feel a little bit let down, but you know what, maybe after I digest it and I sleep on it and I think about it, read some things, watch some breakdown videos, it might stick with me a bit more because sometimes they do, you know?
So. And not everything's going to land, but maybe Hokum will blow our socks off and be like, oh my God.
Well, Hokum is getting phenomenal early reviews.
Yeah.
But so did this.
That is true.
This got like a 5-star review from one of the ones that we follow, and I was like, wow, that's going to be amazing. I hope this makes Anne Hathaway's career. But you know what? She's fine. It's going to be the year of Anne Hathaway and Zendaya. The two of them are in everything. And Robert Pattinson. Like, what is this? They're both in it. Like, everybody's in everything. So it's good stuff. So anyway, we will see you for the next one. And please like and subscribe. Click the bell if you want to get a notification in your email every time we post a video. We don't post too frequently, just a couple times a month, and Drew will try to sneak in some shorts there so we're not overloading your feed. We really appreciate your comments. We got a lot of views on our last video, but not much for comments. So like, we want to hear from you. Tell us what you're thinking.
There's not much to say about The Mummy.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and we will see you in the next one.
At the movies.
At the movies.
It's not working this time.
It's cursed.
Don't know what I did with the clicker. Oh, under my crotch. You can put that at the end as a very fun little blooper. Bye.